share my screen again so that you can see that. And we have some more people just joining now. Welcome everyone to today's session. Once you're in the session, please go ahead and join my Menti as well. So you can either take out your phone camera and scan this QR code here on the screen, or you can go to menti.com and then use the code at the top of my screen. And then once you're in the Menti, you can just go ahead and answer my little icebreaker question for today. So on this sheep scale, how do you feel today? And this is our pin on image question type. So you can simply add your pin wherever you want on, on this one. Let me go back to this one. Yeah, here we go. I'm just trying to admit some people waiting in the lobby as well. Okay. Perfect. I think I will still wait a little bit longer since we still have people kind of coming in. But for everyone that hasn't joined the Menti yet, please go ahead and do that since we will be using Menti throughout this session today. Great. Okay. Yeah, everyone, really lovely to have you join today's session. My name is Emilia, and I'm your dedicated customer success manager here at Mentimeter, based in Sydney, Australia. And okay, we have some more votes coming in here. So number 8 is still the most popular answer for today, but a couple of people also answering number 4. That's a bit of a fun one. I love that. Okay, still some people coming in. But I think we can probably get started. And those of you that are joining a bit later, you can simply join once you're here. Great. So today we will be talking about Bloom's taxonomy and Mentimeter. And really the key to today's session is helping you ask better questions, combining Bloom's taxonomy with Mentimeter. And like I mentioned, my name is Emilia, and I'm your dedicated customer success manager. And for anyone joining just now, please go ahead and join the Menti. I will have the code here at the top of my presentation throughout this presentation. But then the QR code is now still available for you, but I probably won't show that later. So now is your time to easily join the presentation through the QR code. You will also have the option to use the reactions. So we have the heart and the thumbs up. And then at any point, if you want to send your quick reactions, you will be able to send a comment through the send a comment button. And then for questions, we also have the Q&A open. So if you have any questions for me at any point during today's session, feel free to submit that in the Q&A. And then I will be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Perfect. But that was kind of the housekeeping for today's session. So we are ready to officially get started. And my first actual question for you is, how often have you used Mentimeter so far? This is because I want to kind of understand what your current level with Mentimeter is and how much information you have about Mentimeter as a tool. Ooh, this is very exciting. We have a lot of people that are using Mentimeter for the first time ever. Really lovely to have you all join today's session. Looks like the majority of you are using Mentimeter for the first time. Welcome. Then we also have one person that has used Mentimeter once or twice, but very briefly. Great. Okay, but for today's session, it's not necessary for you to know anything specific about Mentimeter. So if you are completely new to Mentimeter, that's completely fine. Great. And let's see. Yeah, we still have some people that haven't joined the Menti yet. So I'm going to go ahead and show the QR code again. So for anyone that hasn't joined yet, please do so you can also interact with the content here today and ask questions if you have any. But I also wanted to ask you how familiar you are with Bloom's taxonomy. I know that many of you probably are very familiar with it, but just wanted to see how much we should cover that versus just the applications of Bloom's taxonomy in the Mentimeter context. Okay, it looks like we actually have quite some variety. So we have some people that are really experts in this, and then a couple of people that have never even heard of it, maybe know a little bit about it. But perfect. Then I will definitely walk you through kind of what it is and what it can help you with. And then the majority of today's session, we will focus on examples. So regardless of if you're familiar with the taxonomy or not, you will definitely learn something new here today. Great. And I also see that we have some comments coming in, so that's fantastic. Lovely. All right. So then I'm gonna quickly walk you through today's agenda. So like I mentioned, I will first talk a little bit about what Bloom's taxonomy is, and then also how Mentimeter fits in with that methodology. Then the majority of today's session, we will walk you through the different levels and then examples around how you can use Mentimeter in those. We will also talk a little bit about best practices and how to really get the most out of the questions that you ask. And then we will have a Q&A session at the end. But at any point of today's session, if you have a question, feel free to just ask that in the Q&A, so you don't need to wait until the end. Great. Okay, still some people coming in. Perfect. Nice. So Bloom's taxonomy, it is a framework for you to categorize educational goals. And really the idea with the framework is promoting critical thinking and also higher level thinking skills in general. So you can really use it to make sure that your students are learning more. And I've added the little graph here on the right side of my slide of the different levels in the framework. So the first level here is remember, and I've also added some of the key verbs that we use in the framework so that you can understand what kind of things fall under each of the levels. So level 1 would be remember, and that's really about memorizing the things that are taught. Then the second level would be understand, and that's really where you start to dig a little bit deeper and really discuss, explain the ideas and so on. Then the third level is apply, and that's really where you start to use the concepts that you've learned, implement them, maybe solve some problems, and interpret different areas of that topic. Fourth level is analyze, and that's really where you're able to relate the concepts to each other, compare, and so on. And then the higher levels here we have evaluate, which is where you're able to then argue and defend and critique the different perspectives around the topic. And then at the highest level, create, which is where you then design, construct, and create something based on what you've learned. So really moving kind of through these different levels, you're going to be able to let the students learn deeper about the topic. And obviously, the way that Mentimeter fits in here is that you can use Mentimeter to ask questions on all of these different levels. And next, we're going to walk you through what that can look like. So I've prepared examples around all of these levels so you can get that practical view of what it can look like. So first we have remember, and this is really testing students' knowledge in terms of recall and trying to remember what you have been teaching. And here we have an example on how you could do that in Mentimeter. So I picked some different subjects. So we have a variety of different subjects and topics that we will be covering today. You don't need to be an expert in any of these, but we can just try this out. So this example here is a knowledge check around economics. So the question is, what are 3 main types of market structures in microeconomics? So if you were a professor teaching microeconomics, and this was something that you had covered in the lectures, and you want to test if your students remember this, it's an easy way for you to test that knowledge. So here we have a multiple choice question. And then one thing that I've also done here is that I've hidden the responses. And this is something that I can do if I really want to make sure that I'm getting everyone's input and their own thoughts. Because sometimes if you can just see everyone else's input on the screen, you might just follow along after the first person to submit. But now I've hidden the responses so that we can really get everyone's own perspectives. And when you do hide the responses, so you can see that I still get this little counter here on the right side. So I can see that now, for example, 9 out of 31 people have responded. So that helps me understand when it is time to show how you've responded or when I maybe need to wait a little bit more. But now I think I'm going to actually show us. Okay, so we have quite some variety. So we have some votes for each of these different ones. So probably if this was a microeconomics course, then I would know that this is something that we need to cover a little bit more, and we're not ready to move on to harder questions and deeper critical thinking. But in this case, the correct answer is actually the first one. So 3 of you did get it correct. Nice. And then, yeah, depending on what subjects you're teaching, if it's English or another subject, you can, of course, create other types of polls and just pick whatever questions are relevant for you. Then here I also have another example around a simple knowledge check that you can run in your classes. And this time I've picked history as the subject. And our question is, in what year did World War II end? So if this was a course where we're covering World War II, this is something that is, of course, important for people to know. Here, I also could hide the responses if I want to. So that's something that I can do either prior to a session or on the spot, like I did right now. So you can see that we have answers coming in. But now I think we can also go ahead and just show you that. So here I've used our word cloud feature, which is a great visual way to also show the information. So here we can now see that the number that is in the largest font, that is the most popular answer. So most of you are answering this one. But then we can also see if we have any outliers or other people that are submitting something else. So then we have, for example, 1949 here and 1947. So this is also, just a visual way for us to see if everyone knows the correct answer or if we still maybe have some people that do not. Great. But yeah, those were the kind of most simple examples around knowledge checks. But then if we move to the next level in the taxonomy, that would be understand. And here we have an example around what that could look like. So my question to you is, what does the phrasal verb give up mean in this sentence? And the sentence is, I decided to give up smoking. And Now, actually, I'm going to go ahead and hide the responses again, since I would say that this is best practice in situations like this, because you don't want the participants to be influenced by other participants' answers. So here, this example is really around encouraging your students to understand the contextual meaning of different words and vocabulary. So here, give up, for example, has multiple different meanings. And then asking a question like this, you're really testing the students' understanding on a deeper level than just, simply translating that. Now, let's see what you say. Okay, so most of you are indeed saying quit, stop smoking, stop doing that. Yes, perfect. So yeah, obviously now this all looks very much correct. But then in a situation where you would have, for example, some students that maybe don't know that, you would very easily be able to surface that and see that some people do not understand the context there. We also have a feature to AI group the responses. So if you, for example, have a very large class, say you have hundreds of students and you don't really have the opportunity to go through all of these individual votes, you do have the option to use the AI grouping to see what people have submitted. So we have some people saying quit, some people saying stop, and then surrender. So a very simple way for you to get that overview of all of the responses if you have a large audience. Great. And then here we have another example now around economics again. And this is something that you can use to start that discussion around assumptions or potential misconceptions. And here I've used our scales question type, which is something that I already showed earlier as well when I asked you about your knowledge in Bloom's taxonomy. Let's admit some people again. Here we go. Perfect. So now the statement here is supply increases when price increases. And then we have a scale from strongly disagree to strongly agree. And now what we're able to do is see what all of you think. And now looking at this, we have on average 2.7, so kind of in the middle of the scale. But then if I hover over this statement here, we can see that we actually have pretty much equal number of people at both ends of the scale. So some people think strongly disagree and some people think strongly agree. So now this would, of course, be a great way for us to start that conversation. What is the correct answer here? What kind of perspectives people have? Why someone might think the complete opposite from another person, and so on. So a really, really great way to surface those potential misconceptions or different assumptions that people have. Of course, in this context, you can have situations where you have a correct answer, or you can have a situation where there might be multiple correct perspectives. So depending on the subjects that you're teaching, just pick something that helps you understand how your students are thinking. So really, instead of just testing their knowledge or recall of different topics. This way you can actually see if they are able to explain their point of view. Perfect. Then moving on to the next level, which is apply. And here we have, again, an example around teaching English. And this is around applying register awareness for academic writing. So really, the question here is rank the below words from most formal to most informal. And the words we have are consequently, so, therefore, and because. And here I have used our ranking question type. And the ranking question type allows me to add some items here, and then you as the participant are able to pick the order for the words that I've chosen. So right now we can see that consequently is rated as the most formal by those of you that have already voted. Then we have therefore, because, and so. And this obviously, I would say, is the correct answer as well. So well done. But essentially, this is a really great way for you to see if your students are able to interpret the kind of words that they have already learned, and really taking that next step in their vocabulary use. Great. I think we can move to the next example here. And this is really focused on the applying that knowledge. So this is something that we could be doing in environmental science and encouraging applying that theory that you've learned to problem solving. So instead of just learning the theory, you're now actually using the theory that you have learned. So our task now is you're a city planner. Suggest one practical way to reduce car emissions in a growing urban area. If you're not an expert in environmental science, this might be a tricky one, but I think it's a fun way for us to mix it up and have some different subjects here as well. But we have a couple of answers here already. So we have free public transportation and building a subway. Really, really great. Metro bike, more buses, encourage everyone to take public transportation. Love it. Okay, so very much focused on public transportation, and some people mentioning bikes as well. Yeah, public transportation. Great. And then, yeah, regardless of which subject you're teaching, you will definitely have these situations where you have a theory that you're covering, and really asking a question like this that allows your students to share how they would use what they've learned is a great way to take their knowledge and critical thinking to the next level. I see that we have, again, people in the waiting room, so I'm just going to let them in. Perfect. And then here, of course, if I wanted to, I could again group the responses, so I don't need to go through all of these. But yeah, we have a couple of differing opinions as well. So awards and increased tax for parking. I love that. City buses, Tesla as well, great. Track the frequency of entering urban area and administer emission fee. Yeah, that's great. And then, of course, when you're then asking a question like this, you can start conversation based on these as well, and ask the students to comment on the ideas. And another thing that we can do here is also pick the best idea if we wanted to. So for this question type, I have the option to explore responses in more detail and then actually vote. So now, if I wanted to, you can actually pick which one is your favorite idea. And this again is something that I can either set up prior to a session if I want to have an exercise like this, or I can also do it on the spot, like I did right now. So this way, if you want to use Mentimeter to, brainstorm those ideas and then also pick either the idea to go ahead with or a winner, say if this was a bit of a competitive way for us to brainstorm, then this is your way to pick a winner where everyone can actually vote. And you can see that for all of the questions here on the bottom right side, I can see how many people we have in the presentation and then how many people have submitted their votes. And then if I activate the voting on the responses, here in the middle, I can see how many people have voted at that second stage. So I'm going to give you a little bit more time to vote, and then we can see what our favorite idea is. Okay, I'm going to wait for 2 more people. So then let's see, 1 more person, and then I will show you how you voted. There we go. All right. So our winner is, or we have a tie between 2. So we have free public transportation and then metro and bike. So those are the most popular ones, and they then appear here at the top. Great. I love that, but loads of great ideas. There we go. The 4th level then would be analyzing. Perfect. Thank you for the support. I think, yeah, well done. Great idea. Perfect. So analyzing, this one is now then, again, taking it 1 level deeper. And here we have an example around literature. So this one is now something that you could use if you are using or if you're running a literature course and analyzing the characters of a book. So this might be very hard for you if you haven't read the book. If you have, then well done. You're going to be better off than others. But the book we're talking about now is Pride and Prejudice. And we have 2 characters from that book. So we have Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy. And let me admit people again. Here we go. And then here we have 2 different factors that we're analyzing. So some literature concepts here. So we have internal versus external conflict. And then we have whether that character is the protagonist or antagonist. And we have those 2 dimensions here. So we have the character role and then the conflict here. And you can see that now that we have a couple of responses on the board, we can also see how those little dots are moving. So right now we would have Elizabeth Bennet more of a protagonist, and then Mr. Darcy also kind of in the middle there, but very close to each other. So this is, of course, a way for you to see if your students are able to compare those different characters and their perspectives, and really take that knowledge testing to the next level. Okay, we have more votes coming in. So now we're moving more towards external conflict for Elizabeth Bennet, and then internal conflict for Mr. Darcy. And if I want to see how the individuals' votes are spread out, I can also hover over the different dots. So here we can actually see that there is a lot of variety in the votes, which I would say in this case probably tells me that you're probably not familiar with these characters, which is totally fine. But if this was a literature course, I would probably want to see my students be a bit more aligned. But depending on what subjects you're teaching, you would probably have similar scenarios to this one, where you have multiple different factors that you want your students to analyze and relate. So really taking that knowledge of the topic to a much deeper level. Perfect. And then here we also have another example around how you could use this or use Mentimeter at this level of Bloom's taxonomy. And the example that I picked now is around political science. And here we have different influences in context. So the question we have is rank the following factors in order of their influence on voter behavior. We have media, education, income, political party loyalty, and age. And this again, we used the same question type earlier for the words. So kind of ranking those words in order of how formal they are. But here, this is obviously a lot more complex situation. So you need to think a little bit more critically to understand what might influence voter behavior more than the other factors. So perfect. We have right now political party loyalty as the number one. Then we have media, number two, education, number three, followed by income and age being the lowest one. And then, of course, if you wanted to start conversations, classroom discussions, or debates based on this, that's also something that you can do. So you could ask this question and then open up the floor for people to defend their perspective or maybe talk about the arguments other people might have if they answered differently. Great. Second last level in the framework, we have evaluate. So this is really where you start arguing for a perspective or critiquing something else. And here we have an example around how you can use Mentimeter to critique or argument. So here I have picked an engineering example, and we have a little bit of a design of a pedestrian bridge. And our question is, what would you change and why? Again, an example that might be a bit hard if you're not an engineer, but I think we can try it regardless. So here we have this design that is for a pedestrian bridge. And now your task is to critique this design. What should be changed and why? And here I would say really the and why, that's the important part here. So if you present something that maybe is not perfect, regardless of what topic it is, and you want your students to find the mistakes or faults in that, whether it's a concept or design, and then ask them to explain that reasoning for their answer. That's really how you can make sure that your students are developing their argumentation skills. They are really able to not only understand what they're talking about, but really explain why something is faulty or how something can be improved. Let's see if we have any brave souls who dare to challenge this design. And if not, another thing that I would love for you to do is what kind of a question like this would you ask when you're teaching? A challenging question. That's okay. So yeah, here is an example of a question that you could ask. Okay, here we have one brave soul. So move winch into central position. Love that. Very brave. Thank you. Move the position of the bridge. Perfect. But yeah, if you go back to the subject that you are actually teaching yourself, whether it's English or something else, what kind of question would you ask if you follow this format here? I'm going to give you some time to think if you want to try formulating a question like this for the subject that you're teaching. Or if you can't formulate a question right now, you can also just share. Perfect. Why isn't the bridge over the river? That's a great question as well. But yeah, if you want to just submit your thoughts around how you could be using a question like this in the subjects that you're teaching, feel free to do that as well. And I think here in these responses that we have as well, it's great that we're asking these kind of questions. So why isn't the bridge over the river? So then you could also start talking about that and really start with the justification and argumentation on that topic. Sorry, that this question is too hard for me to have an answer. That is fully understandable. I probably would not be able to answer this question either. It's just an example. So then, yeah, okay, perfect. We have one kind of application of this as well. So giving a design thinking question to have a brainstorming exercise. That's really great. Exactly. So that's something that you could do at this level as well. Oh, I love that. Built under river tunnel. Brilliant. Okay. But moving on from the engineering example, since that was a bit of a tricky one, we have an ethics question. This one is probably a little bit easier for you, so you don't need to be an expert in ethics in order to answer this. But this is something that we can use to have nuanced class discussions. Especially here, it's an ethical dilemma. So our statement here is doctors should be allowed to refuse treatment on moral grounds. And our scale is from strongly disagree to strongly agree. Okay. So right now we can see that overall we have a relatively high score here, so 3.9 out of 5. So what that is telling me is that most of this group say strongly agree or at least agree to this statement. But then we also have 2 people all the way at the beginning of the scale, so strongly disagree, and then some people in the middle. And based on this, we could then start a classroom discussion. So we could ask, for example, okay, those people that say strongly disagree, why might they say so? Or we could ask one student to explain both perspectives. So, for example, if I asked one student to share, why do some people think this way and some people this way? Do we know why this one is more popular perspective in this group, and so on? So really starting a really nuanced conversation based on the responses that we get. Amazing. Then I think we're ready to move to that last and highest level of Bloom's taxonomy, which is create. So this is really the stage where you're able to start creating something new based on what you have learned. And here I picked an entrepreneurship example. So creative thinking, and of course you could also do idea competitions. And this is also something that you don't need to, only focus on entrepreneurship. You could of course do idea competitions in any subject that you're teaching. So it definitely doesn't need to be entrepreneurship focused. But the example that I had here is propose a tech-based solution to reduce food waste on university campuses. Let's see, do we have any ideas here? And if this one is too hard, it doesn't necessarily need to be tech-based. You can just give me any ideas that you have around reducing food waste on university campuses. And the reason why we're asking a question like this is really to spark your creativity as well. So instead of just kind of thinking about what you have been taught, now you're actually coming up with your own ideas for the solutions that we could have. I know that this might also be quite a hard question to think about, especially, around lunchtime and if you've just eaten and so on. Let's see. Okay, we have create code scanners to document food dispenser. I love that. That's a great idea and also tech-based, so very well done. Then we also have design an award system to encourage students to make the best of food not consumed. That's cool. Raise cubs livestock. Yeah, okay. Let's see, do we get any others? Having CCTV or a robot watching people eating, giving alarm when someone trying to throw away food. I love this. I've actually seen studies around how if you just print a picture of eyes and people feel like they're being watched, they behave better. So I think this person is definitely onto something. Then we also have test hunger level. Then you can enter cafeteria. That's a really fun one. I love that. Collect data about how much they eat per meal. Yeah. A platform to share the information of unused and clean foods before they are expired. Cool. Mobile app for students. Students can pre-order or choose meal portions or customize dishes in advance via app, helping kitchens prepare more accurately. Oh, wow, that's a really good one. And also an app here that allows people to pre-order food from the canteen. Wow. Okay. This one was definitely, I guess, easier for you than I expected. We have so many great ideas here. Very well done. Also, charge people for leftovers upon exit. Love that. Use Line to notify students and workers promotions from school, cafeteria, or convenience stores. Promotions like buy one, get one free. Perfect. Okay, we have a lot of different ideas here. But this way, again, you really spark that curiosity in your participants, and then everyone gets to share their different perspectives so we can also learn from each other. And here again, one way that you can run this exercise is, for example, if you first hide the responses, so then everyone is really brainstorming on their own and thinking what ideas they might have. And then once you've given people enough time, we say, for example, 5 minutes, think individually and submit any thoughts that you get. And then after those 5 minutes, we could then show the responses and then ask people if they have any new ideas based on other students' answers. So that way you can, take that step further and give both the unbiased ideas that people get initially, and then also build on other people's ideas. Here we have one more. Design a mechanism to record students' eating habits and give recommendations before they order the meals. Amazing. Very data-driven, a lot of these. Posting stories that people are in hunger and educating to share his food. Great. Thank you, everyone, for your participation in this exercise. We have one final example left. And here, this is again around English. And our question is, which of the big pictures best represents the word resilient in your opinion? And now you can pick one of these. And then, like I've added here, explain your choice in the comments. And that's really what makes this a more advanced question than just a simple poll. So here you can pick which one you think, and then in the comments you can actually share your reasoning. So why do you think that? Amazing. And of course, if you want to, for example, instead of using the comments, you could also ask people to share out loud, or one by one, your students should explain why they picked a certain option. So plenty of ways that you can run this exercise, but really something that allows the students to reflect on this very deeply and then explain the reasoning. This is, of course, a very abstract exercise. There is no, correct answer, but rather your students need to think about it very thoroughly. Amazing. Okay, now it looks like option number one is the most popular one amongst yourselves, but quite a few votes for option two as well, and then one person option three. Great. Okay. Here, I also wanted to just add a couple of best practices for you. So I recommend that when you are creating your Mentimeter presentations, that you start with the learning objectives. Think about what it is that I want my students to leave this session with, and then you can design your questions backwards from there. I would also recommend that you really mix it up. So depending on the level that you're targeting, you can mix different question types. So for example, on the first level, we had a lot of those polls and asking people to submit simple answers. And then maybe, for example, the open-ended question where people need to type their answers and really think about it thoroughly is a great way to take it a little bit deeper and apply that critical thinking. And the final tip, I always recommend to just make it fun. So we do, for example, have quizzes as well, so you can really gamify that learning and add that competitive element. And then, like we had, for example, the voting on the responses. So if you want to add that kind of competition of come up with your ideas, and then we're together going to decide what is the best idea, and that student is going to win a prize or get extra credits, whatever it might be. So that way you can really incentivize your students to participate more. Great. Here I've also added a couple of helpful resources if you're new to Menti or something that you're trying for the first time. So you will have support available at hello@mentimeter.com or the chat bubble in Mentimeter. Then we also have step-by-step guides in our help center. And for inspiration, we have our blog and the templates. By the way, you will also get these slides after today's session, so you don't need to save any of these links now, but you will be able to get those through the presentation. Then if you're curious to learn more about the science behind Mentimeter, we have these two links to studies as well. Mentimeter Academy is where we have self-paced courses, so you can either learn more about Mentimeter, or if you're curious about, for example, neuroscience-based learning or inclusive teaching methodologies, we have courses on those topics as well. And then if you use PowerPoint a lot and want to add Mentimeter questions directly in PowerPoint, I've also linked the PowerPoint add-in guide. And then we have reached the end of today's session. I've linked the feedback form here, so you can click on that link on your devices. And this link will take you to the feedback form for this session. That feedback form is required for you in order to get the participation certificate. So if you want your participation certificate, don't forget to click on that link and fill out the form. But other than that, we do still have some time left. So if you have any questions for me, feel free to either ask those out loud or you can submit them in the Menti Q&A. And other than that, this is also an open-ended question here. So if you want to give any feedback on today's session directly to me, you can just submit that on this slide as well. Perfect. Thank you for this presentation. Well, thank you for joining, and also thank you for your active participation. It's been really fun for me to present also when you're leaning in, even though some of the examples were really tricky. Perfect. We have a question here. Would all participants remain anonymous? By default, Mentimeter is anonymous. So today's session, for example, is fully anonymous, but we do also have the option to either just gather participant names so that people submit their own name, or we also have the option to authenticate the participants. So if you, for example, want to do assessments through Mentimeter, you do also have the option for that. Thanks for sharing. Well, thank you for coming. Thank you for the presentation. Thank you for your inspiring presentation. Oh, that is so lovely. Thank you so much. Oh, and a great session. This really warms my heart because this is actually the first time that I'm ever running a Bloom's taxonomy focused session. So if you think that this was great, I'm very, very happy to hear that. But yeah, if you have any constructive feedback as well, that would be greatly appreciated since this was my first time running a session like this. Yeah, anything that I can improve for next times, I would love to hear. Thank you for sharing. Very good sharing. Thank you so much. Great application for teaching. I love that. Thank you for sharing. I think this program is very useful for both learning and assessing course content, and it can even hijack students' phones to make the class more engaging. Absolutely. I definitely agree with this one. The reality is that, all of the students have phones. So this way, at least we are actually present on those devices. And I think I saw a raised hand as well. Did someone want to ask a question or comment on something? Or maybe that was just an accident. Perfect. I enjoy this class. It's most enjoyable when I joined. Oh, that is so fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing. I learned a lot from your presentation. Thanks a million. Thank you. This is an interesting lesson. The functions of Mentimeter are powerful and can enhance classroom interaction. Lovely to hear. If some participants join later, instead of just typing the code on the website, can we also provide QR codes so they can join more quickly? Yes, so at any point during my presentation, I can press the letter I on my keyboard, and you can see that once I do that, the QR code appears there. I can also move the QR code around, so if I feel that it's covering something, I can move it to a different spot. And then I do also have the option to download the QR code prior to a session. So if I want to download the QR code and add it somewhere, wherever it might be, if it's a Teams meeting or something, you can put it in the Teams chat or wherever you find useful. And then the students can simply use that. So yes, that is very much possible. Okay, we do have around 5 minutes left. So if you still have questions, I'm more than happy to answer those. But if not, we can, of course, also close this session a little bit early, and then you can go ahead and try it out yourself. You will get these slides as well, like I mentioned. So if there are any examples that you want to kind of copy to your own account and start using, you will get the chance to do so. Ooh, okay, could we have the website addresses? Absolutely. So you will get these slides, and then you will get all of the different links and everything. Okay, I'm gonna wait a little bit longer if someone is still, typing a question or comment or something. But otherwise, you will get these slides and then you have all the help resources available as well. So if you have a question later on, you will be able to submit that to our support team, and then you will get help through the chat or via email, whichever is your preference. Thank you everyone so much for joining today's session. Yes, you will get the slides, absolutely. Thank you so much for joining today's session. And I'm so happy to hear that you were enjoying the session. And I hope you enjoy using Mentimeter going forward as well. And let's stay in touch. You have all the materials after this session, so you can always reach out to us if you have any questions later on. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and thank you for joining the session. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Amelia.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Amelia. Bye.